Hey y'all, welcome back to For the Fans, where today we are kicking off our countdown coverage to Big Brother 23, where today we will be ranking all of the Big Brother Unitards from the ridiculous to the more ridiculous. So hold on to your sausages, it's gonna get wild. All right, Frank, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good today. I'm excited to talk about Big Brother and the fun unitards that we have to display today and all the craziness.
Yeah, so this is obviously something that is very unique to Big Brother. It started back in season 8, so today we are going to look at every single unitard that has been worn from season 8 up through season 22, and we're going to rank them. Frank, you want to talk about how we've decided to lay out our rankings?
So we have 3 rankings. We have head of household, which is, we want to keep those around. Those are our favorite unitards. And then on the fence would be on the block. We don't know. They're all right. We could care less. And then we have evicted, which is we don't really like that unitard. It's out. Don't really ever care to see anything like it.
And so our ideas for ranking these, obviously they're completely arbitrary. We're going to just whatever we feel like. So if we like it for whatever reason because it made the person look ridiculous and we didn't like that person, then maybe we're going to give that one a good ranking. Who knows? So it's completely up in the air. Obviously, this is just our opinion. You can drop us a comment below and let us know what you think about all the Big Brother unitards. Which one's your favorite? Which one do you not like? Make sure you also give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at ForTheFansE. That is the number 4, the Fans E. All right, so let's get started with our very first unitard. So, Frank, start telling us about this one.
Season 8, Big Brother decided to get a little more weird, so they introduced the unitard punishment. I don't know if this was around the time when did they transition away from peanut butter and jelly to slop and started wanting to torment people more?
I think it was around All-Star, so Big Brother 7. They decided, hey, you know what? This is a good idea. Like, this is something we can really work with here. Let's make this miserable for these people. And that's kind of what they did.
And then we got the unitard in season 8. And Jen's a pretty memorable character for me because it's the first time I think somebody had a meltdown and cried over their picture. Hopefully she does not cry now that we've got her picture pulled up right here. Hopefully she's come along a little bit since then.
Yeah, all right. So the original iteration of the unitard was just this basic full body red spandex, and
it reminds me of the Incredibles.
Yes, she could be an Incredible. What would be her superpower? Super bitch. That is what I would want my power to be. All right, so Jen she made the best of it, especially being the very first one to do this. She accessorized. She had belts. She made it look good.
She definitely pulled it off.
She pulled it off.
She was pulling it off.
So
some of these people that we got on the list didn't pull it off so much.
They did not pull it off as much. All right, so let's take a look. We got our beautiful little chart here. So where do we want to put the original OG red unitard?
I would vote to put it in HOH because it's the first of its kind.
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of the same scenario as like Borneo. We know that it's not as great of a season as some of the others, but hey, you know, it's the original and you've got to have the respect for it. And so I kind of feel the same way about the red unitard. Like, this is where it all started. She did a good job rocking it. Like, for that reason, I feel like you kind of have to give her a little bit of the credit, and you got to put her in the HOH category.
Agreed. Definitely
So one thing,
Borneo vibes.
Borneo vibes, hashtag Borneo vibes. So one thing that we didn't talk about is we are going to each have a veto. So if we are just really not feeling where the other person is ranking these, we can veto what they want to do and we can put them in whatever category we want. But for right now, we're in agreement. Jen, in the HOH category, I think this looks good. All right, let's move on.
I was just like, I was kind of cheating and planning ahead, like, because I want to use my veto. I for sure want to use it. I don't want to sit on it and not play it this whole time. But
we're not the kind of people who don't use vetoes around here. All right, so Sheila Bb9. Once again, we're back to this same red unitard. And this picture, Sheila's got on some black underwear, and she's straight up looking like an incredible. No different. I see no difference here.
The mom, yeah, she could definitely be that for Halloween. Just slap the logo on the front.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your opinion on the BB9 version? We got some sleeves added here. Sheila also rocked it out and accessorized and made it her own. So thoughts on the second version of the red unitard?
When it came back, it wasn't like that season. I was like, the unitard's coming. I wonder what it's going to be. It just came back again. I keep forgetting my job is to make sure we're zoomed in. I keep messing that up.
It's okay.
Kiley's got us. But yeah, so it's kind of on the block for me. It's the same thing. They didn't mix it up at all.
Right. I mean, I think I'd go as far as putting it in the evicted column because it's just nothing special. We've seen this once before. You're not the original. There's nothing really that remarkable about Sheila as a house guest, in my opinion, that's like, okay, well, your unitard wasn't that great, but you were awesome. So
yeah, when I was looking at our list, I was like, man, I guess I don't have that good of a memory. All I can remember of her is I think she was angry and grumpy. I think that's all I can really remember of her. If she wasn't, I'm sorry, but that's how my memory.
I don't have a super great memory of Sheila either, and so to me, it's just like, meh, whatever. I can put her in the on the block category. I can put her in the evicted. It doesn't really matter to me. Kind of like Sheila doesn't really matter to me either.
Yeah, I'm okay with. We can evict her. Okay,
yeah. You're going.
I'm definitely not going to use my veto to save her.
Yeah, it's not worth it. We're going to put her over into the evicted category. Like, sorry, girl. It's just you ain't it.
Yeah.
This one's nothing special. All right. So let me pull this up. Share my screen for y'all. Let you get an idea. We got our 2 unitards, the red variety on the polar opposite ends. One's HOH, you're the OG, and one is, sorry, but unoriginal.
You had to go.
You got to go. All right. So next, we go just to season 10. And what do you know? We've got another version of the red unitard, and this one is by Michelle. Now, Michelle, memorable. Michelle had a lot of personality, and she rocked the red unitard. So I feel like, if we've got 3 versions of this, that maybe Michelle should be in the on the block category because just of her personality and how she was able to pull it off. What do you think?
I can agree with that. It was like, now it's the 3rd time it's happened, and I'm like, okay, so we're going to have a red unitard every season. This is just going to happen.
This is what we do. And, at this point, they just haven't gotten creative with it at all. This is what we do, y'all. We have a red unitard, and the person look ridiculous, but hey, it is what it is. So are you good with ranking this one in
On the
the
block.
second category?
We can go there.
On the block.
I'm not super passionate about this vote. I could care less. I'm already bored a little bit with the third red unitard.
Right. There's just not a lot to say here. I'm good with putting it in on the block, or we can put it in evicted and just, hey,
I don't want to evict her though, so that's why she gets to stay on the block. We'll let the house decide.
We'll let the house decide. What are y'all's thoughts? Do you think that Michelle did it better than Sheila, but a little bit worse than Jen? Because that's kind of how we're falling with this. But here are our 3 versions of the red unitard. But guess what? Season 11 is on the horizon, and we're going to get a little variety here. So, Lydia, she gets a red unitard, but this one is Captain Unitard. Captain Unitard. And I think that Lydia's is iconic because Lydia, as you can see in the picture, is the very first one that is evicted wearing her unitard.
Yep, agreed. HOH status. Going out of the house and going out in a unitard, I think that's going out in style.
It's going out in style, a little bit embarrassing because, oh gosh, it gets worse because, there's one coming in a few seasons that really, really takes the cake on being evicted in a unitard. But for the very first time that this is happening, you feel bad for the girl, especially as a female, because the girls are all primping whenever they know they're going to get evicted because they want to come out and they want to look good, and she gets to come out dressed like a superhero, and that's going to be a little disappointing for her. But iconic for us. So we talk about it a lot, that we run a draft. And one of the categories that we score in is if you are evicted wearing a costume, because we think that is best of the best, specific to Big Brother, that they embarrass these people.
I'm going to have to factor that into my fantasy teams now. I didn't even know that. I guess I should read the rules a little better.
Yeah. Well, we like to mix it up, but that's one we've always left in. And since we've been doing our draft, we've never had anyone evicted in a costume. All right. So as an update, we've got Lydia in the HOH category with Jen. We've got our very first unitard. We have our very first evicted in a unitard. So iconic status. All right, so next up, we go to Big Brother 12, and we get one of my most memorable unitards, Kristen. I don't know if it's just I'm not very good about going back and rewatching Big Brother seasons because there are so many episodes. So I basically just have to recall everything from my memory. And I just really feel like when we get that moment of Rachel yelling, "Floaters, better grab a life vest," I feel like Kristen was in her unitard. Is my memory wrong?
I'm not the person that's going to be able to tell you if your memory is wrong.
Because I feel like she was in it. And
I can kind of, looking at the picture, I can kind of see she's probably listening to it in this picture. Rachel's just over top of her screaming.
She was definitely standing up when Rachel was yelling this, but I just, in my mind, I just imagine Rachel yelling at her, and what makes it all the more ridiculous is the fact that Kristen is dressed like a disco queen. So,
was it the hippie tard? Is that what they called this one?
I think it was the hippie tard. And, she had her showmance with Hayden. And so just, seeing her sitting on the block next to Hayden, she's just wearing this ridiculous costume. And we've got Rachel has, yelled at her. This has to be it. I have to be remembering this correctly. because Rachel is the one that nominates her and she gets evicted while she's wearing the costume. So to me, it just seems to play out correctly. And if it didn't go like this, then just don't shatter my dreams. Just let me think in it.
That is now your reality. No one shatter that.
Yeah, that's my reality. Please don't tell me differently. If I'm wrong, I don't care. This is just how I want to remember it. So, what is your opinion on Kristen's hippie tard?
We actually got a different color scheme this season, so that got points for me. I think it was a fun season, so I would put it in HOH.
Yeah,
what
so
do you think?
This is my favorite season by far. I love the Brigade. I love Hayden as a winner. I love Enzo. I love Lane. Obviously, Brittany Haynes is like one of my top favorite players ever. You get Rachel and Brendan. I mean, it's just all around amazing. There's nothing not good about this. Reagan is in this season. There's just so many iconic things. And I mean, I feel like this is the peak of Big Brother. It doesn't get better than this. It's only downhill.
Well, it got a little better, I think, with once it was season 18 and 19.
Boy, get out of here.
The winner, I didn't have a great winners, but
the seasons were not near as great. 18 and 19. Are you serious? Just because you look like Paul does not,
it's not because I look like him. I can't help it. They were both really gorgeous. I can't help that. But beyond that, I thought he brought great entertainment to the show.
Sure, he did. Paul did. But as a season as a whole, people wanting to play the game and so much strategy, like this is the peak right here. We're not going to get much better than this. All right, so we're going to agree to put Kristen into the HOH category. So as of right now, we've got 3 iconic unitards in the HOH category. Also, I'd like to point out that it is all women thus far. I feel personally attacked that no man is having to wear this. Yeah, we need a man. But season 13.
Are a lot of the unitards punishments from vetoes? Are all of them, or just most of them?
Most of them. Most of them are from vetoes. I think especially at this point in Big Brother, eventually we're going to have unitards that don't come from petitions, but at this point they do. All right. So our next unitard is the one and only Jordan Lloyd, our very first winner to wear a unitard. And I just can't help it because I love Jordan. She's so precious. She's not a great Big Brother player. We're not going to get into that, but she's adorable. And she looks adorable in her unitard.
And it is just funny. It's the I'm with stupid.
I'm with stupid with the arrow up. Me. And just the fact that, I mean, as sweet as Jordan is, she's not the sharpest tool in the shed. So it's kind of like ironic in that way.
Yeah, it was fun. I was a big fan of this season too, because I'm a big Jeff and Jordan fan.
Same.
Like, I think they're the power couple of all BB, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, they're the original. I mean, you get Brendan and Rachel coming from the same season.
But I could not stand Brendan and Rachel.
So the very first iteration of Rachel, I wasn't a fan, but then when she came back the next season and obviously ends up winning, I did like her more. And then, you know, getting to kind of see her grow, which, you know, she was very young whenever she played Big Brother, but, you know, getting to see her grow and then getting to see her on seasons of The Amazing Race. She's just amazing television. So
do you want her on Survivor though?
I would love to see her on Survivor. So she has recently said like she wants to be the first person to do the trifecta of the CBS reality shows, and I would love to see Rachel Riley on Survivor. Definitely one of the top 5 people from Big Brother that I would want to see on there.
I don't think she could do it.
Oh, I think she can.
I don't think you take away all comfort items and put her out there. I think everyone's going to vote her out because she's going to be a whine. Her voice, I personally just can't stand her voice listening to it. So I couldn't imagine like complaining and whining when you're miserable and you're trying to get out of that miserable mindset. And I could just imagine that voice would just bring me to my bottom.
I mean, I'm thinking that as long as it's not like a blood versus water season and you don't hear her saying, Brendan! Like, I think just Rachel by herself, she could probably do fine and not be so terrible. And it's only 39 days. I mean, she lasted in the Big Brother house for 99 days. People put up with her for 99 days.
She would ruin the loved one's visit, I think. If she got to it, I'd be like, no, don't even bother this season. I don't want to watch it.
Sorry, Jeff. We're not going to do that this year. Oh, but, I kind of had the same feelings about Natalie and Nadia whenever I watched them on The Amazing Race. I was like, oh, my gosh, they are so annoying. And, 20! And how they would always be yelling. And so now that, like, watching Natalie play Survivor her first time, I was just like, oh my gosh, this girl is incredible. And so, people do grow and change. And so I think you need to give Rachel a little bit of credit. But I mean, the girl wants to compete, and
I give her credit.
It killed her to not be on All Stars. And I mean, and she only wasn't on there because she was pregnant. She desperately wanted to play. She said, go in, and then Alyssa could do the competitions for her. And I think that sounds like a fair mix. So, all right.
She loves the camera time for sure.
I think. Back to what we were talking about, which is Jordan Lloyd's I'm a Stupid Unitard. So, where are you thinking that you're going to rank this one?
HOH.
HOH, top of the top. I agree. This one is so great just because, like I said, the irony of just poor little Jordan, and she's just not the sharpest tool in the shed, and she gets the dunce cap. Just all around, well done, Big Brother. Would love to see this version of it come back.
We're being too nice, I think.
We're being too nice, and we can go back and move things around. Thinking ahead, I don't feel like there's just a whole lot that are just amazing. So I think that the bottom half is probably going to be worse. But once it's all said and done, we can move things around. All right. So that is season 13.
I think it only gets better. So, but that's our perspectives. My perspective of better might be just a little different thing.
All right. So, Frank, what's your take on Big Brother Frank and his Unitard?
That was the Spirit Tard, I think.
Yeah, the Spirit Tard.
Yeah, and he brought the spirit, HOH. I will play my veto for Frank any day of the week.
All right, well, I'm going to make
He's a part of Chilltown, so I have to use my veto. And that sucks because I didn't want to use it before you.
I don't think that this one is that great.
He makes it great.
I'm thinking that it's not that great because not only does Frank get the unitard punishment, but later he also gets the carrot, and he gets into that big blow up with Ian while he's dressed like a carrot. And so I have a really hard time remembering Frank in his unitard because I can only remember him dressed as a carrot.
Okay.
No, if you want to use it, then that's completely up to you. That is your right with your
I'm
veto.
doing it. I'm going to do it, even though I know I shouldn't, because the Unitard, no. The Unitard, it's kind of not that great. They've already started to mix it up, and then they went there. It was kind of boring, but the person wearing it is a member of Chilltown, and the bylaws of Chilltown state that I must play that veto.
He's like a honorary member of Chilltown without the founding members of Chilltown all there. I mean,
that's all we can hope for now. I can never be a founding member, but I hope one day that I'm inducted into Chilltown.
Well, I think
I want to be the mayor of it one day.
I think that we just need to have our Chilltown memories and just hold them close to our heart. Because obviously, if you don't follow Big Brother news, then you may not have seen this week that Boogie was convicted on felony stalking of Dr. Will. So Chilltown, I don't think we're ever going to see this alliance come back together.
Yes, but you're seeing Chilltown, the alliance between Will and Boogie. I'm looking at Chilltown, the idea.
The idea of it.
The idea of Chilltown. Will was one of the first people to create that cult-like following, that mentality in Big Brother, and that's why it's bigger. It's bigger than Chilltown is bigger than Boogie, for sure.
Well, Dr. Will is bigger than Boogie, and Dr. Will is not going anywhere. He's always going to be a part of Big Brother. Once again, kind of going back to Borneo, Richard Hatch set the precedent for how to play the game. And even though Dr. Will didn't come till season 2, obviously most people kind of look at that as the first real season of Big Brother. And Dr. Will did the exact same thing that Richard Hatch did. He laid out, this is how you should play the game. And, it's been really, really hard for anyone to duplicate it since then. And that's why he's one of the best. So.
And he did it with such style.
Yes, he did.
He's one of my favorites, if you can't tell.
Yeah. All right. So we've got Frank the Tank, Udi in the HOH category, as our Frank has decided to use his power of veto to put it into the HOH realm.
Frank's got to stick together. That's the bottom line.
Frank's got to do what a Frank's got to do to be Frank.
And you're so happy you're sitting on that power right now. You're so excited.
I'm so excited because
I'm defenseless.
We're going to Big Brother 15. There are not very many redeeming qualities about Big Brother 15, but the unitard that poor Candace gets stuck with, the clownitard, and I mean, how fitting for Big Brother 15 to have a clown unitard. It's tragic that it does have to be Candace that gets this punishment, and we once again see a person get evicted wearing the unitard, and it is Candace looking like a clown sitting with Julie. And I just can't help it. I love this one. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel like this is Big Brother was like, well, the tutus and the tight unitards didn't really phase these house guests. Let's step it up a little bit and make it a clown.
Let's take it to the next level.
Did anybody in the house have a fear of clowns? Because that's a pretty common fear.
That would be great. Okay, I'm terrified. Or, who is it that's so afraid of birds? Nicole Anthony is so afraid of birds. If they did, on BB21, Sis had to wear the chicken costume. How would Nicole have felt being in the house with someone as a bird? And so it does make you wonder, was there anybody afraid of clowns? Because that could be tragic.
Yeah. I thought you're like, who's afraid of birds? And I'm thinking about all our friends that we know. I'm like, Who's got a fear of birds?
No. I knew there was a connection, a Big Brother connection in there. It just took me a minute to get the wheels turning. All right. So Candace Stewart in the BB15 Clownitard. Where are you feeling this one?
For me, it's on the block.
Get out. Trying to think. I'm saving my veto. I'm not going to veto you on this one. Oh, I got one in mind, and if you're not willing to put it in the HOH category, I will literally burn the place down.
Well, if you tell me which one it is, I might be able to work out a deal with you.
No deals. No deals. Ooh. Okay. Let's look back at our categories. At what we've got so far, because I feel like maybe we just need to move a few things around right now to get some better
we can't move Frank.
Nope, Frank is there. He's not moving, but I feel like we need to bump some people down. We need to bump down Lydia because yes, you were the very first person to get evicted wearing a unitard, but Candace getting evicted wearing a unitard dressed as a clown is much more iconic to me.
I can deal with that.
So are you
then
good with
I think we need to lower down the hippie tard too.
Okay, I'm good with moving both of those down to on the block, not in it, on it. Okay. We're going to do that. We're going to move them down, do a little bit of adjusting here. All right. Bear with me just a sec while I do some rearranging. All right. So this is going to take us. Oh, no. Candace is up in the top category. I almost messed up my own, what I just meant to fight for.
Almost messed up or almost cheated.
No, I almost she's in the top category. And I almost put her in.
Candace is in HOH?
Yes. That's what we just said, that we would switch Candace and Lydia.
Oh, no. You misheard. I misunderstood you. I'm okay with them both being on the block.
What? Okay. Here comes my veto. I am going to veto you. We are going to put Candace into the HOH category. Her wearing the clownitard, sitting with Julie is a great moment for me. Like I said, it's unfortunate that it did have to happen in such a shitty season that so many people hate, and for it to happen to Candace, who was on the receiving end of the bullying. But taking all of the context away from it and just looking at the unitard and then getting evicted in it, it's amazing.
Well, now we both used our vetoes.
We both used our vetoes, so we're going to have to agree from here on out. And this next one is the one that I was very much needing to be in the HOH category. So we have moved on to Big Brother 16, and we get Nicole Franzel with the sausage.
All right, we can put her in the HOH. What's the next one? BB17. All right, what do we got for 17?
Wait, hold on. We've got to talk about this. So you're just good with just us putting it in there? No commentary?
No, we can talk about it. But if I talk about her, I might be a little mean. But come on. I think Big Brother was just trying to make her see what she's doing wrong.
I'm 100% going to be mean. I don't think that it's any secret that we're not a huge Nicole Franzel fan here. So, yeah, we might as well just stick with that. And the fact that Nicole, who is known for her Big Brother showmances, is carrying around a sausage
and I love the picture you got. It's like,
it's too much. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, at this point in time, I don't think everyone really knew the true Nicole. Okay, she had this cute little showmance with Hayden her first season. It wasn't that big of a deal. You kind of rooted for her a little bit because she was a little bit of an underdog, but hold on to
I
your
didn't
sausage.
root for her. Boo. I mean, she was there. I was fine with it. She wasn't my favorite person on that season.
Right.
But we'll talk about it later, I'm sure. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it later looking at this list.
Yeah, so Nicole is also one of the winners that has worn a costume. And what's notable about Nicole is that she has worn a costume in all 3 of her seasons. 3 Unitards in 3 seasons. So she is.
Someone likes the camera. She's probably asking for the punishment.
She's absolutely she loves to get the punishments because she does know that she's going to get screen time with it. So 100% that's what she's doing. I mean, some of you can't control, but she knows how to get screen time. So yeah, that's what she's doing. But just the irony.
We have to put her in HOH.
We've got the irony of Jordan not being, the smartest, and she wears the dunce costume, but Nicole with the sausage is literally too much for me. Somebody should get a raise because that's iconic to me. All right, so let's share our updated little chart here. We've got 5 in our HOH category. These are subject to change, as we said. We've already done a little bit of rearranging, and I think there will probably be some more coming. So, all right, moving on. Big Brother 17.
This one I thought was super entertaining. I thought it was hilarious, and it's not just a unitard. It's you got that armor piece, and I LARP, so I know that wearing an armor piece.
Okay, wait a second. First of all, time out. Not everybody knows what LARPing is, so
true.
You probably
live action role play, swords and shields in the woods, fighting dragons and trolls.
So y'all know the movie Role Models, and they're out there and they're beating the shit out of each other with their swords. That's LARPing.
Yep.
All right. I'm giving you a hard
That's
time.
actually how I found LARPing, though. I was like, is that real? And then I looked and found the real version of it, which
all right,
isn't far off from that movie, to be honest.
So a little off topic, but kind of on topic. Off topic of Big Brother. So I went to 2 colleges, but my first college that I went to was a very, this sounds so terrible to say, but it was a very academic college. There was not a lot of partying or things that you expect from a college, and a lot of very, very smart people, okay? Engineering, pilots, all the stuff, okay? And I'm, as you can probably tell, I'm not just super serious. Anyway, so I was in for a culture shock being around all of these little nerds at my first college. And my very first week at college, they were out there LARPing, except that they didn't have costumes or anything. They just had PVC pipes that they wrapped with foam and duct tape. And they were out there just beating the shit out of each other with these. I was like, what is happening? Hold on, y'all. He's going to get a prop. I imagine he's coming back with his own PVC pipe. And
did it look something like this?
That's literally, it's a little bit nicer than what they had because theirs was wrapped up with duct tape, but they were just out there just bam, bam. And I was like, what is going on? This is crazy. And to be honest, I've embraced my nerdy side. And if my 35-year-old self was in place of my 18-year-old self, I would have been out there learning how to LARP too. So
yes.
There we go. All right. So I'm fixing to break your heart. This is not memorable to me at all.
I thought it was.
Almost don't remember this.
That would have been miserable. I remember just watching it oh, that's got to be miserable. every time you sit down, that's cutting into your neck and your shoulders, and then you had to have someone follow you around and shine you all the time. I would have put that in HOH. So how do we decide if we don't have power anymore and we just can't get on the same page?
I think we have to just put it in the middle category.
Okay, middle it is.
I wouldn't necessarily put it in the bottom, but it's definitely not top tier to me. Like, this isn't an HOH one because, like I said, I don't even remember it. I can appreciate your points in that it does look super uncomfortable, but in terms of the memorability of it, it's just not there for me.
It was the first time that Big Brother, like, the unitard came with like a task, I think, though, right? The others didn't really come with tasks and more miserable stuff.
But I mean, it does look absolutely miserable. There's no doubt about it. But maybe it's also because Jackie was not that entertaining of a house guest. Vanessa obviously was, but Jackie is pretty, unremarkable as a Big Brother player. She was definitely more interesting on The Amazing Race. So,
I don't watch a lot of Amazing Race, so I didn't even know she was on The Amazing Race.
Yeah, so her and Jeff, who were both on this season, they were on.
Oh yeah,
they were on The Amazing Race, and it was like The Amazing Race Soulmates or Blind Date. I can't remember exactly how they worded it, but instead of like coming with your own partner, these were all solo people, and they like matched them up, and I guess tried to create and like forge some romantic relationships. Like The Amazing Race meets The Bachelor.
Did anybody come out of that season?
The only thing that came out of that season was some herpes and pregnancies. No, I'm kidding. No, I think the best duo that came out of this season is you have Team Fun, which they didn't have a romantic connection, but they had a really good friendship. So I guess in that aspect, they were successful. So
I remember Team Fun. Team Fun.
Yeah,
were they on an All-Star season?
And they were just on All-Stars, yeah. The next to last season of The Amazing Race.
I watched a little with COVID. I started running out of stuff, and before I watched all of Survivor like 2 more times, I watched a little bit of Amazing Race.
Yeah, so they were on the All-Star season. They had a
little fun meter. I remember that.
They are fun. Hence their name. All right, so we've got Jackie and Vanessa in the category of on the block. This is our first one that we've really, really had a disagreement on. So
yeah, now we hate each other. It's going to be really hard to.
I will give you the opportunity if you want to swap out your vetoed Frank and put him into the evicted category, that you can move the Knight and Squire into the HOH category.
You know what? Whenever I have like hard decisions, I think, the WWJD.
Mm-hmm. What would Jesus do?
Well, what would Dr. Will do? That's what I'm thinking. So he would sell out one of his bros to win, and I want to win. So let's move the Knight up. And I'm sorry, Frank. Right. You understand.
All right, we got some moving around to do, y'all.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You have to do more work.
It's fine. I'm not the most tech savvy, which is why Trisha is usually the one that runs all of this. So, there's probably a better way to do everything that I'm doing wrong, but we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to go on with how I'm doing it because it's not terrible, y'all.
I think you're doing a great job.
I think that if I had to rank my PowerPoint capabilities, I would put myself in the on the block category. I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst either. So here we go. Our updated rankings. Frank, you've been moved down into the evicted category.
Oh, you said evicted? I thought you meant on the block.
No, I said at the bottom, all the way to the bottom. That was the deal. You need to You need to listen to the negotiation
You're touching on the fine print of these deals. I'm here in the first part.
Yeah,
and then you're like,
oh,
the second part, I'm not even paying attention to, and it's getting me in trouble.
So sorry, Frank. You've been backdoored, and we need to make a new category of the backdoor. All right, so now we're going to move on to Big Brother 18, and guess what? We're going to get our girl Nicole again, and she gets the safety unitard.
And I just can't stand her. And this season was terrible. She robbed my boy Paul.
I'm in 100% agreement.
This is the first one she wore that season?
This is so in Big Brother 18, she just had one unitard.
Okay. I thought she wore 2 this season. It's hard to keep track of her.
It's hard to keep track.
This is probably the most we'll probably ever talk about her on any list.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. I only loved the sausage one because of the irony. To me, this is bottom tier because I would like to evict Nicole.
Yeah.
Look at us. Look at us just agreeing.
Yeah, we're moving.
We're just rolling through this now. So we both agree we can throw the Nicole Franzel safety tard into the evicted category because we're just not feeling it, y'all. She can be down here with her friend Frank, who got backdoored, and Sheila, who's just nothing special.
Frank shouldn't have to be on a tier with.
That's really rough whenever you like say it in those terms of like, okay, here we are. Here's the person that got backdoored. Here's the person that is just boring. And here you go. Here's Nicole Franzel. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, Frank. Sorry, Sheila. All right. So moving on. Big Brother 18. This is our first season that we're going to get 2 unitards. And we're going to get Corey Brooks in his very festive America unitard. So what are your thoughts here?
He was such a big doofus.
Okay, so I'm going to stand up for him on this one because I'm from Texas, and down here in Texas, we have a lot of pride. Like, we have a lot of American pride, and we also have a lot of Texas pride.
That looks like a Texan hat. I only see 1 star.
It does kind of look like a Texan hat. Corey is from Texas, and no kidding, like, I don't know how it is where all of y'all are from, but, like, you could absolutely see somebody like this for the 4th of July. Like, this is not outside of the realm of possibility.
Oh, that happens in Indiana, too.
Okay.
I have a friend. We moved back to Indiana from Houston, Texas, actually, and we went to our first 4th of July back in the area. Mm-hmm. And there was homemade flamethrowers. They had a wooden eagle, and this is around Tiger King like time. Recency bias was there. So there was a tiger. They lit him on fire. There was an old stove that they caught on fire. It was the craziest 4th of July event like I've ever seen. So it happens in Indiana too.
Yeah, so he's patriotic. So where are you thinking ranking wise?
I would evict. I mean,
you would evict. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I would probably put him in the on the block category.
How long did he have to wear that for? Did he have to keep his hands inside those things?
No, I don't think so. You know, like they've also gotten so lax with things through the years. Like at first, everything was super strict, but Yeah, I can probably concede into putting him in the evicted category. In terms of aesthetics, I really like this one, but in terms of memorability, it's not there for me either. Like,
And yeah, the spirit of it, I think, is making people, it's a punishment.
yeah.
So if you have people that wear this every Tuesday in Texas, is it a punishment?
Right, exactly. Like Corey may have brought this pack into
The hat is probably his own luggage.
Absolutely. You can get these hats at Six Flags. All you got to do is shoot a basket and you can win this hat.
And a lot of gas stations, I'm sure. Every truck stop has one of those.
So we're in agreement. We can put him in the evicted category. Like, I'm not willing to just go out on a limb here. Yeah, I've got some other thoughts about some things that we might need to move around, but for now, I'm good with this. So let's move on. We are now going into Big Brother 19. Whoa. Whoa, slow your roll. All right. Big Brother 19. Extreme.
It reminds me of Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle.
Extreme. I've seen Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. I'm not picking up on the reference.
It's the guys in the store or the gas station that are like, that torment. Harold and Kumar. Yeah, it definitely.
I don't remember.
I might be crazy, but I'm pretty sure
I've had a few sleeps since then. So, all right. So we've got old Whistle Nut in the Extremitard. He did have to have them yelling at him while he was wearing his unitard, and looks wise, like, this one's probably my favorite. Like,
it had the tassels on the arms, and that thing would have been uncomfortable to wear. That helmet, that looks like it's got some weight to it.
Yeah, I don't know if the X has, like, if it's a wooden X or if it's made of foam. That would make a big difference. But I like how this looks. Is there anything necessarily that sticks out to you about the punishment itself?
I just think this is like the first time they really got the unitard punishment right. Ooh. Like, just as a complete package, like, I think it looks good. It's flashy. It looks uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. It hits all the marks for me. So I really enjoy it.
Okay. So I really enjoy it. So
and I like Jason.
This one is good looking to me. I'm looking at our categories. So let me get old Whistle Nut on here and blow this up, and let's talk some rearranging, because I think we need to do a little bit. All right, here we go. Let's look at this again. So as of right now, like you said, we're being really lenient on these people, which is a bit surprising that we're not going harder on Big Brother production. So we got quite a bit here in the old HOH category. And I'm just kind of feeling like we can move a few. And, like, I'm sorry, Jen, but, sometimes things come around and they're just better than they were back in the day. And I just feel like she kind of needs to move down into the on the block category.
Really? The first
one.
Fine. That'll work. I don't like that though. This doesn't feel right, but.
Or would you rather have a Whistle Nut into the second category?
Ultimatums. Jen, sorry.
Jen?
Yep.
You're set up for the back door. You gotta go.
You gotta go.
You gotta go protect down. Jason. You gotta go down around. All right, so I'm going to do a little rearranging. Once again, patience while I just do my little skills here. All right, so this is going to this. So we did have the 2 unitards in Big Brother 18, but in Big Brother 19 we only get the 1. So we're going to move on to Big Brother 20, and we're going to once again have multiple unitards. And this one we get another winner wearing a unitard, and Casey Clark in her rainbow unitard. What are your thoughts?
What was so when that would spin, what would happen?
When her little wheel would spin, she couldn't leave a room. So if people were talking and everybody left, Casey had to stay there until her wheel stopped spinning. I think in their mind they thought this would be a really, really terrible punishment to have in the first week, but it just really wasn't that big of a deal. So, meh, this is nothing special to me.
Yeah, it's an inconvenience. If I got that my first week on a show that I wanted to play, I would be like, damn it. Like, even if it was just for like a little bit, I would be like, I could be missing out on something big in there. I could be missing out on something big.
I feel like, remembering back on it, because obviously there's another punishment that's happening simultaneously, and that is Sam as a robot, which completely overshadows what Casey has going on, because holy shit, that's obviously way worse. So to me, this is evicted. Like, go on, go home.
Oh, evicted. You are harsh. Okay. On the block. I think we should go on the block for now. You think evicted?
I think evicted. Like, this was
next. I would see. Are we gonna evict her next one? That's the same season. The next one on the list. It's the same season with
probably because.
Okay. Then if that's the trend we're on, I could agree. I could agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking like, okay, the very first week, Casey gets into an alliance that is going to run the house. So obviously this wasn't anything that was bad. And we're not even
But it could have been.
But we're not even talking about the punishment side of it. We're talking about the actual costume.
True, the costume. So, lame, evicted. Out of my face, you stupid.
This was
stupid
awful.
unitard.
What are you doing?
But then I might rank the next one higher if that's what we're basing it on.
All right, so Casey is the very first person to get 2 unitards in one season, and later she is going to get the health nutitard. And here
Ridiculous.
we go. Here she is as the health nut. Like, this is cute. This is a really, really creative Halloween costume. Like, maybe I want to be this for Halloween next year.
That is a really good idea for a Halloween costume.
I like things that are punny, and this definitely fits that. So, I mean, I kind of like this one.
We can put it on the block then. Yeah. Are you trying to make it HOH?
No. I'm good with it being on the block. It's not super memorable, but it's creative, and I'm here for that aspect of it. But it's not like, oh my gosh, I hope that they bring this back. So we're both good putting this one into on the block. Our categories are starting to even out a little bit. We're starting to look a little more balanced here, which I think is good. So yeah, let's show an updated where we're at with our rankings. All right, so we've got 5 in the HOH, 5 in on the block, and 5 in evicted. So as of right now, we're even, which I think is great. So
sorry, Frank,
you got sacrificed. All right. So moving on to Big Brother 21. This is also another one, y'all. I think I've got an immature sense of humor. And so this one it makes me laugh. And this is Tommy Bracco sporting.
Tommy Rocket blasting off at the speed of light.
Yeah, this one is just great. All around good. Like, that helmet looks so uncomfortable. It also looks like a penis, which makes it even funnier. Tommy was such a big character, and he did it justice. So
it was perfect for him.
Yeah, I really like this one.
It's probably my favorite. Not gonna lie.
We're in agreement that this is
top of the list.
This is a really good one. Like, they hit the mark with this one. This is great.
And your picture is perfect. I can hear him.
So, honestly, it was kind of hard to find some pictures of some of these. Hence why some of the quality of them isn't the best, but yeah.
I loved how he had to go through every room in the house with either the lights or stink bombs. I think he had stink bombs that he had to run through. It was either blasting off the speed of light, smell, or sound. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this one was fun. It's always fun when they get a punishment that also, inflicts harm to the rest of the house. So I think we're in agreement that we can put this one into the HOH category. We enjoyed this one. This is our list, so we can do whatever the hell we want. All right, so this is going to take us up to our most current season, Big Brother 22, All Stars 2, and this is, I probably should have saved my veto for this because
because I think we're actually going to disagree.
I will literally fight a mother over this one.
I know, and I will too. Although I love Janelle.
This is amazing.
This isn't even a unitard.
She rocked it, okay? Like, Janelle is one of the most iconic people to play Big Brother. She gets this costume, which most people hate having the costumes, but she looks amazing in it. Her star actually lights up. I loved whenever she would be having conversations with people and she would turn and she would knock things off of tables because she had no control over her points. And obviously, I could not find it. But whatever, we've got that iconic shot of her posted up with her Louis Vuittons, like queen status.
So this is probably the first time I will ever rank Nicole higher than Janelle. But the season 22, the slop box.
Which, okay, let's just go ahead.
Let's have them battle it out
together. All right.
Yeah.
So we do also get Nicole Franzel in the sloppy cereal box, which this one is really good too.
I loved watching her have to wear this one.
Yeah, I mean, this was uncomfortable. It was so big.
Your peripheral vision's all gone.
Yeah, so big. And, we got to listen to her bitch about, like, having to wear this big ass cereal box and how Janelle didn't really wear her star costume all the time. And so that made it even better, just the feud between Janelle and Nicole. And so, yeah.
She's got horse hair right there.
Like, to hold on to her hair, this is great. This is really, really good. I don't think that, even though I don't love Nicole, I don't think that her gameplay is sloppy. So it would be great if she was a sloppy player and there was the irony of it. But as a costume, they hit the mark on this one.
I won't make a sloppy joke. There are other ways she could be.
What'd you say?
I shouldn't say it. I said there are other ways she can be sloppy.
Right. I guess that is I guess that is true. I was thinking in terms of gameplay.
So we're going to put her in HOH and Janelle on the block. Is that where we're at?
No, we're going to put them both in HOH and we're going to move some shit around. That's what we're fixing to do here. Okay?
Janelle's
All right.
coming back. Let's kick everyone to the side.
Janelle's here to save the day. Everybody else can just move down. Okay. I'm gonna be objective here, even though I love Janelle. Gosh. We can put her in on the block. But
That's going to kill you.
I don't think that Nicole's is HOH worthy.
Oh, it is the worst one. As a punishment, if we're looking at this list as punishment or just humiliating, that is kind of top of it all. Like a giant box. So, like, Jen would have probably hated that one because she couldn't, like, show off her little figure. You're pretty much, you're wearing a refrigerator box around the house. You think Janelle was knocking things off. I guarantee you, Nicole blindsided people.
All right.
Literally.
I'm going to make this bigger. We're going to have a final discussion here, and then we'll decide on if we need to move anything around or what. So let's see where we're at. So we have ranked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 13, 14, 15, 18. So I just feel like we should have 6, 6, and 6. Okay?
Are you sure? That sounds like a terrible idea.
Okay, we don't need that.
666? You know better than that, Kylie.
So sorry. Did not mean to do that. Okay, we don't want to do that. All right. You know,
we would lose the whole recording. You do that. It would just crash and we'd lose everything.
Yeah. Yep. Nope. We're not doing that. I'm going to be completely honest with you here. We've got a really, really, really glaring mistake. And no, it hurts my heart to have Nicole Franzel win anything. And for her to have 2 in the HOH. But I guess it's okay because it's making fun of her.
Yeah. Which is the best part about Nicole, is that we get to make fun of her.
All right. Let's look at our on the block category. Is there any that need to be moved around here?
I need to make it bigger.
I can't make it bigger.
I can.
This is as big as it gets.
On the block. I kind of think we could move an on the block down to an evicted.
I agree. Like, I think we could move Michelle down into the evicted category.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Okay. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to move her down 1. And now we have achieved our, nope, now we're at 7, 5, 6. Okay.
It's fun evicting people.
I think this is pretty good. All things considered. So let's just share it one more time. Look at our beautiful rankings here of our Big Brother Unitards. In the HOH category, we have Jason's Extreme. Frank busted out his veto to get Jackie the Knight into the HOH category based solely on the fact that this one was extremely uncomfortable. We've got Jordan Lloyd in her I'm with Stupid. Candace, the worst one to be evicted in a unitard where I used my veto to get her into the HOH category. Nicole with the sausage. Tommy with the rocket. And Sloppy Nicole. And on the blog, we've got Kristen in her hippie tard, Lydia, the very first to be evicted, Jen, the OG red unitard, Casey is a health nut. We like puns. And Janelle is the star, once again, a robbed queen.
We should at least put her on the top of on the block. We should at least do that before we leave.
We can do that. And then in the evicted, we've got Lydia, No, not Lydia.
That's why you're evicted.
Sylvia. That doesn't sound right either. Anyways, Frank, Nicole's worst version.
Shelly,
Huh?
Sheila? Is it Sheila or Shelly?
Sheila. I told you she just was not memorable.
Good thing she probably doesn't have a Twitter or an Instagram.
Corey Brooks, Casey's Rainbow, and Michelle Costa in her red unitard. All right.
I think that's good. I think it all ended up where they're supposed to be.
You know, just like in the world, things tend to work out how they're supposed to. So that is our ranking of all of the Big Brother Unitards. We will be so excited to see what they come up with for Big Brother 23. Frank, do you have anything you want to plug?
No, we do have game night coming up, though. So if you guys are free, check out game night and let us know what you guys think. Did we put someone evicted that you would have put as head of household or on the block? It'd be fun to hear you guys' opinion.
Yep. And like I said, make sure you give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter at ForTheFansE. You can also find us on Facebook and everywhere else that you can imagine. So make sure you subscribe so you get a notification when we go live, and drop us your comments. Let us know what you think about our rankings of the Big Brother Unitards, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.